Welcome to Poets at War, a podcast documenting the brood of writers, where art, theology, philosophy, and fun beckon your ears. And now, your host and general, Joshua David Ling.
Hey everybody, this one is from February 11th, 2026, in the year of our Lord, and we talked a lot about the Guardians of Atlanta, broke down some things in regard to that story, and plans for the future. Let's go ahead and get into it.
God of song, said the warrior bard, though all the world betray thee, one sword at least thy right shall guard, one faithful heart shall praise thee.
You are now entering the war zone.
Writing now.
Good to hear. Are you going to share something tonight?
I mean, I could. I am really working on the first chapter of a section of the book. You know, it was never really finished. I never really had a strong idea for what it would be. So I've heavily reworked it in a way that I've been wanting to rework it for a while. It's not finished though, but I think I've made progress on it. Of course, cool. You know, I start trying to, write to a degree that's I'm not going to overwhelm myself, and then I accidentally write 2,000 words in a single setting.
Right? Yeah, I know how that can be. I've had too few of those days lately, but I am getting back to it. I'm just building. I'm trying to build my library and my new app out so that I can basically just like hop around between worlds and write whenever I want on my phone, that kind of a thing. But getting the database together takes a lot when you have like 600 poems. So yeah, might be able to turn AI into that at some point, but yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I've also had very few of those days. And really, this has been the first one in a while. I don't know, probably weeks. But, I've been slowly getting back into writing.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the chapter really started coming through when I had the idea that, I don't want my readers to be too confused reading the magic system. I actually want them to be able to see problems getting solved. So I probably want to start teaching them the system early in the story. And I'm just trying to think of a way to do that.
Interesting. Obviously doing an action scene and describing how it works as it happens is an option. And
that's what I went for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sweet. Awesome. That should be fun. Well, if you have any part of it that you particularly like, feel free to share, whatever you want to talk about tonight. Alex popped off for a second. I'm sure he just had to deal with something. I'm sure he'll be back. But yeah, I mean, I've been building tools mostly lately outside of, as far as my creativity goes. Obviously I've had a ton of work and other stuff. Having internet issues. Yeah. You back?
My dad called.
Oh, okay. No problem.
It automatically kicked off as we're figuring out stuff with him.
Yep. Sounds good. Oh boy. What kind of nom-noms did you get your wife?
I have to work up a bid. So we got her pita chips. We haven't spent all of it so far. But we got pita chips and some of those like rice puffs, some cheddar rice puffs.
Yeah.
Cashews and protein shakes.
Good choices.
And hummus to go with the pita chips.
There you go.
Yep.
That's all you need. Yeah, she definitely, I think she said something to Casey about like wishing that she had something, and Casey was just like, can I do this? I'm like, absolutely. You don't have to have my permission to send them anything.
Well, we really appreciate it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. It was kind of.
Okay.
But yeah,
do you want to see what
Go
I've
ahead.
been working on?
Yes, I do. Show me.
So you remember our dining room, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is our dining room now.
Beautiful. Love
With
it.
the rug and the wood chair and the wooden floors and all that jazz. We still got some clutter in the corners that we have to clean up. But
I was going to say, what's that armoire thing?
yeah, so it's a buffet we ended up getting for what, like $40? It may have been 50, something like that. But I've got my Christian Heritage series right here. So Luther, Calvin, up to Chesterton, Everlasting Man. Turntable right there. Whiskey up at the top. I've got my Game Informer magazines up there with the two gauntlets.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's cool. I used to read Game Informer. My brother got it a lot. So, yeah.
I ended up finding like 36 back issues of Informer at a thrift store and just buying all of them for $5.
Yep.
So I've got like a lot of them.
What was the rationale for buying them? Just collectible? Or did you like it growing up?
Not really collectible. Just like I enjoy video games, and I figure that will give some really interesting snapshots into like gaming as it was in those times, especially I was looking forward to kids and all that. Got them years ago, but yeah. Just figured that would be something that was good and I wouldn't regret having something like that for kids to go back and reference, because like it's published stuff, it's formatted properly, and so if they want to do like a media report or something like that for school, then they have references that they can go back to physically and say, okay, well, like what does this say here? I'm going to do a report on like every time Skyrim is mentioned in Game Reporter or something like that.
Right.
So, like, it's resources, and I like resources. I like having resources.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Then I also forgot to bring this up. We got a shelf put up in the living room. So there's the futon.
What up, James?
Got this. Joshua says hi, James. And we got that put up.
Nice.
So we've got the Lego orchid right there, and then our little like Lego Bluey vignette, and then a willow tree that actually Mom and Dad got the exact same one whenever I was born, and so they gave it to me gave it to us upon James' birth, and then that's sitting on a Shakespeare book.
Nice.
So looks really nice.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Looks very cool. Oh man.
So yeah, we've just been working around the house some because I'm in the middle of bidding some jobs to get, and so I haven't had regular work to do.
Yeah. I'm about to strike out on looking for another book as well, as far as work goes, but just finished up my last Founders one. So yeah, that's next steps. But oh man.
Okay, cool.
What?
Well, I need to work on a bid right now. I'm good to stay on and chat while I'm doing that, but I am going to be busy doing something else.
Oh, sure. No problem. I'm doing some coding as well, so I'll see who shows up and what we want to talk about. Aaron, what's on your mind? Oh, you're muted.
I think he's muted doing something else.
Oh, okay. Well, if he is, that's okay.
So
he's having some technical difficulties.
He's gone.
Where's the button?
Is he?
Let's see.
Did he say that?
He was shaking his head and indicating it. There we go.
Got
Did
it.
it work again? There we go.
Can you hear me?
That was weird. Yep, we can hear you now.
All right. I just said I was looking over the chapter that I just wrote, thinking through it. It's certainly not finished, but because it doesn't have a conclusion. But yeah.
We're still willing to hear it. Works in progress and all that.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know if Alex heard, but the goal of this chapter is to give the reader a brief introduction to the very basics of magical combat that they'll be seeing throughout the story.
Okay.
Especially whenever powerful persons are involved. And so it will start with a bit of exposition. But it is tied into a character's backstory, so I'm just looking to see if you think it works literarily. Also, if you can remember that my current plan is for this to come right after a prologue, which, if you remember, is where the 6 royal houses face a trial and executions after they're getting conquered, if they refuse to renounce a certain prophecy regarding the fact that that one of their descendants will slay the big bad. So
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, coming right off of the heels of that prologue is this chapter.
Okay.
The secrets of power revealed to us by Cyrus in his meditations. He saw that all things were made up of 2 elements: stones woven together, bound in threads of lightning. This is the wisdom of the firstborn, the secret of the power of the Fae. Because you are warriors of the silver sword, you have the power to command the lightning within the waters and the earth, to move wherever you will. This is the secret of your power. The lightning is like the husband, and the stone is like the wife. Together they make all that is beautiful in the world. But men among other men will depart and seek out a mate. Likewise, women cannot be content with the company of women alone. In the same way, if you uncover the stones and remove their covering of lightning and cause them to face one another, the power between them will cause them to fly apart. If you gather the lightning together, the force of their dispersal will shatter the stone. This is the first lesson of power that Alev learned from his father in the mountains of Aleva. It was drilled into him again when he first studied in the school of Shothora. Only a few days after learning this lesson, his teacher had him hone his skills by splitting rocks with a single mental cut. When the rocks separated, strands of lightning often appeared between them, almost as if the 2 halves were reaching out to each other, grasping for what was lost. And who joined? Hello,
Dante, friend from Louisiana.
I am a lurker.
What's up,
Okay.
Dante?
And a bit of a writer of my own amateur skill.
He's also very into fantasy. He's currently up to date with
Absolutely.
Sanderson, all that.
Look, psychic abilities, you have my attention.
Yeah.
Proceed.
So the tendrils reached outward. They zapped him. They set things on fire. You'll be useless for everything except a full-scale assault if you don't get that lightning under control, his teacher said. There were 2 aspects to Fae power. Authority and knowledge. Authority was like the water behind a great dam, a great store of power capable of feeding cities if used with care to irrigate the land, or to destroy them if released in a single violent burst. But if you did not have knowledge, if you did not understand how the things you controlled worked at their most fundamental levels, it was like you did not have access to the levers which let you open the floodgates to let the water through, or that you did not know how to dig the canals which would let the water from the lake irrigate the fields. Authority was the paint that allowed Alev to treat the world like a canvas, and the mind was his paintbrush. It was the excellence of your mind, the ability to hold and focus a great number of details which allowed a mage to do great things. But Alev was a reckless man, and when the world was his canvas, he preferred to paint with sledgehammers. That wasn't an issue today, not when he faced a field of monsters. He stuck his sword in the ground, and he imagined a simple bowl under his feet, encasing the earth below him, and he was at the center. Inside the bowl, the lightning would flow to the sky. Beyond, it would flow to the core of the earth, leaving those little stones everything was made of exposed. Then, with a great thunderclap, he shot into the sky. This was how swordsmen learned to fly, but traveling far wasn't his intention. Tendrils of lightning rose up from out of the ground to the rising platform Adarian had made, the natural result of his amateurish use of the power. I'm sorry, I need to switch that to Alev. If I say Adarian, I mean Alev. Okay. But Alev intended to use that flaw to his advantage. He took his sword out of the flying clod of earth, and he jumped. For now, it was time to command the sky. In his mind's eye, he imagined the lightning growing strong. He imagined the stones within the clod of earth he had made exposing themselves. The attraction between them and the lightning grew unbearably strong. Lightning raced into the clod of earth. It covered it. It grabbed it. It pulled it back down to the ground faster than anything which fell should have fallen. The clod of earth hit the ground, hitting the ground, sent out a shockwave, and the thunder boomed loudly, causing the monsters which had encircled Alev to stumble. The ground to which he was and fall to the ground to which he was descending. He took out his silver sword and pointed it to the ground. There was no armor which could brace him for the 1,000-foot fall he took, and no healer in Karatua could heal him. But fortunately, he didn't need such things. When his silver sword touched the ground, the earth became like soft foam around him, as it seemed to choose to not apply its normal resisting force. Sharp rocks were taken away in a torrent of dust as the earth flowed like a river around Alev. Still, some of the earth remained behind, providing resistance, but only as much resistance as Alev's body could handle. And as he slowed, so too did the flow of earth, until the earth finally withstood him in its normal strength, and Alev came to a stop nearly 20 feet underground. It would have taken too long to climb out of the pit he had made, so he again imagined the earth flowing around him, tiny stones pulled by flows of lightning, pulling the lightning in turn further and further on. Finally, he came to the sunlit earth with enough breathing room to analyze the carnage around him. Alev was in the middle of a crater about 2 miles wide. 2 rings of ragged short hills encircled the lake at the center and prevented any water from flowing into or out of the crater. The crater was almost entirely empty of trees, and it was bare ground when he first arrived. But an hour into the fighting, and the whole circle was covered in a great tangle of roses. That was almost certainly Vardon's doing. Alev didn't know what caused the crater. All he knew was that he had come here 3 times because of complaints from the nearby farmers that there were monsters here. 3 times he found a den of witches and a breeding ground of monsters in this crater, and 3 times he had cleared it completely. He had to deal with the crater that many times after being the sheriff of Nunamera County for only 4 years. And according to Vardon, there had been 10 more incidents with the crater during his time. After causing so many issues, you think the farmers would have moved away from the crater at this point, considering how much of a liking the shadows seemed to have for this place. Sharp talons struck Adarian's skull and nearly touched his eye. Reflexively, Adarian attempted to strike the eagle attacking him with his sword, but he missed a direct hit as the eagle flew away. Still, the lightning that Adarian shot from the sword struck the eagle, and he fell to the bare ground. Adarian was uncomfortable with leaving him there. It was a witch spawn, after all, and might be able to heal from decapitation for all he knew, much less electrocution. So Adarian stabbed the eagle with his silver sword and threw it in the tangle of roses. Digestion was a safer bet. Adarian wipes the blood on his brow with the sleeve of his shirt. He cursed himself for being inattentive. Even the smallest prick could kill. The talons could be poisoned, the scar infected, and unlike the witch spawn he was fighting, he would only be able to heal when he returned home. So he ran as he began to think. He ran towards the monsters that had encircled him just a short time ago. They were getting up now. Most of the monsters were simply drakes, simple pests meant to scare farmers, eat livestock, and burn fields with fire. Of the 13 drakes, Alev could distinguish between 2 types. Most of them seemed like fighting drakes, monsters which could stand on 2 legs and strike with the long claws on their front paws. But 3 of them seemed to be riding drakes, distinguished by their arched backs which formed a kind of saddle. That must mean there are at least 3 witches here, Alev thought. Though just because there were 3, that didn't mean he would see 3. The witches could have all merged into one body or divided into 7 for all he knew. They could all 3 be riding in the legs of one of the drakes right now. He could never know with the witches. They were experts in the art of morphing flesh. Because they were immortal, they had thousands of years to hone their skills. And the elder that was the source of their power was still around, constantly teaching them how to make new monsters, new diseases, new abominations of men. And with one unalterable will, they arranged all of their creations against the place where he lived, against Karatua, against Alev's nation. Alev let out a loud shout as he caused the ground under him to shoot forward again into the mound of monsters that were struggling to rise. He stabbed at drakes and cut some of them in half in his anger. Useless, really. Some of the drakes were hydras. Cut them in half and they grew into 2 full new monsters in moments. The only reliable way to truly kill any of them was to use his sword like a knife, or like a dinner knife, to lift them up like an oversized bit of steak and to throw them to the roses. Sure, plenty of them would die after being cut in half enough times, their reserves of healing spent, but Alev didn't have the time to waste cutting the drakes into manageable chunks, as if he was at some refined Edendale dinner party. He laughed as he threw the last of the drakes into the roses. The monsters were much tougher than the Akar stable boys that had attended them. He didn't quite get it, but for some reason the Neterans liked to spend more of their power healing their brute beasts than they gave to their grunt soldiers. He laughed because it seemed to him like they cared more about their beasts than the people who had been loyal to them for over 1,000 years. He hoped his own nation wouldn't be so reluctant to let their soldiers heal if they had the power to give it to them. Alev took cloths from his pouch and wiped off his silver blade before he put it in his sheath. You never knew. The blood of drakes could be poisoned. He quickly realized that he should probably tend to his head wound as he walked through the tangle of roses, searching for signs of the witches who were responsible for the infestation, or for signs of any deeper caverns he did not yet see. He sent out an electric pulse through the ground as he walked, enough to help Vardon and his roses distinguish him as friend, but not enough to be of any real effect. to cause any real disturbance. He walked through the tangle of roses as it spit out hydra bones. Alev could see his deputy Celesser in the distance fighting drakes with his own silver sword. Celesser was a bit more refined with his strikes than Alev, and seemed to be more willing to go the route of splitting apart the drakes himself. Alev could see spikes of stone rising up from the ground, stabbing at the drakes, piercing through their body in 1,000 different places, before the spikes exploded, sending themselves and the bodies impaled on them flying apart as 1,000,000 different pieces. Even though Alev preferred digestion, Celesser was probably right that a monster fragmented in so many ways was almost certainly dead. And that's what I have.
Okay.
Cool. I was able to follow it. I think you set a good base for your story. Or for the like combat system. I think it works well.
I think the visceral vocabulary was particularly good. It made you feel what this system could do. And I really appreciated that.
Okay,
morphing flesh is a combination of words that definitely makes me feel ill in a good way.
Okay, good. Yeah, I know that there's definitely a lot I could refine and shrink down, but that's not, something I can do.
For the genre that you're going for, you don't need to shrink anything down.
Correct.
Like, you're going for high fantasy. You're a lot more brief than Sanderson is. In like, Kelsey are talking with Vin, or even as Kaladin is learning his stuff in Stormlight Archive. Like, you're a lot more brief than that in what you have, and you have a really good like base of what that feels like.
I'm particularly fond of your choice of wording in painting with sledgehammers.
Yep.
That is a perfect encapsulation of a character personality right there.
Yeah.
Like precision and power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what a novice should be doing in the Third Order. And yeah, I also want to make it fairly clear from the very start that like the bad guys and the good guys have access to very different powers. And so there's going to be some non-linear power comparisons there, you could say.
Right.
You could say that the good guys manipulate the powers of creation, whereas the bad guys manipulate the powers of corruption.
Well, they both manipulate powers of creation, but they don't manipulate the same powers.
Well, what I meant by that is that the good guy. It seems that I forget. I forget his name. What was your main character's name again?
The main character is introduced as Alev.
Alev. Okay, so he seems to be a geomancer and electromancer.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so electricity and earth.
It's not really. It's not so much electricity and earth. It's the electricity in earth.
Oh, so the ions that ground lightning strikes are being separated and sparking.
Yeah, so basically my idea is what you have with this species is it's a race that has some intuitive knowledge about how things work on a scientific level. And, the first generation was made up of 6 characters called elders, which had basically a very deep, functionally omniscient understanding of a particular day of creation and the things that could be done with it, and like all the authority to boot. And so, but like they didn't necessarily know how to express that knowledge and couldn't necessarily form it into coherent system. But their children would have access to a broader understanding, a more connected understanding, but with like less clarity. So I have this line where this magical theory that's being taught to them supposedly comes from one of the firstborn, where reality is made up of lightning and stone. And that is a reference to electrons and the nucleus. And the idea is like that this firstborn has an intuitive understanding of it. And like if you can understand that reality works to this degree, this is what you can do with the power. If you don't have that understanding, you won't be able to do these things.
Knowledge and authority.
Yes, knowledge and authority. But it's also being said there that they don't know that there's things like different types of nuclei, right? They just know that there is these things that they called stones, which are nucleuses, and they have an attractive relationship to lightning, and manipulating these things allows you to do pretty much anything.
So a small degree of molecular fission?
No. So what they are able to do is basically they just control electrons. They control electrons. So electrons have this thing where there is a chance that they will be in any particular location, but that in this universe, I'm going off of the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics, where it's literally a probability that they will be in different places. It's not predetermined. And what the magical power allows them to do, it allows them to determine where each electron will be. So they can decide if there's a possibility that all of the electrons will be on one side of the nucleus. They can just decide they are all on one side of the nucleus, leaving the other side.
Insider trading quantum physics.
Yeah.
I love that phrase.
Yes. Insider trading.
Collapsing the probability in a way that you want it to.
Yes, that's what they're able to do. This is
such an interesting concept. I am if you start a Kickstarter, I'm funding it.
Yeah. And you know, and pretty much what I'm thinking is like this specific tool of knowledge that they have, it's so versatile that they really don't need to understand the physical world more than that for the purposes of their magic. So they really don't.
So yeah, that is whenever you introduce magic on a technological scale, it kind of replaces technological advancement in certain areas. So your world building becomes very skewed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it should be. Like, it should be that, you know, where magic is really good, they use magic. Where magic is not good, they develop technology. And that can skew their ability to develop. It can hamper their overall ability to develop, in my mind.
I mean, one such example of that is the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, as they began to progress into the industrial age, those without bending ability need technology to keep up. Those with bending abilities are essentially superheroes.
Yeah. And, like, one faction has access to all the healing magic, and that's the bad guys. So they don't develop anything to do with medicine. Like, what would be the point of that? We can touch you and heal you. But the other side doesn't have that. So they research into chemistry, they find out pharmaceuticals, they develop surgery, they do all of that kind of stuff because, they just don't have access to the same power. And they don't want their guys to be dying all the time.
It's really thematically interesting.
Thing,
oh, sorry. I was just going to say, it's really interesting thematically that the bad guys have the healing power. Very strange and interesting. Go ahead.
I mean, in Dungeons and Dragons, the most terrifying kind of interrogation is the kind where you cut and then heal, and then cut and then heal, and then remove and regenerate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely. And that's what the bad guys do. But at the same time, there is also a over-reliance militarily on their geomancing abilities, which are, again, almost exclusive to them. They do have access to the steam engine because of dwarven technology, but it's really used in very niche circumstances. So they have industrial technology, but they just don't use it because it's just not efficient for most situations. Whereas like the other side, they have access to a little bit, but they have access to a little bit of geomancing abilities, but not nearly as much as the good guys. But they also cannot oppose it directly because, like, if you develop, guns to fight geomancers, they can just geomance the bullets. It's not going to do anything. So they have to rely on different kinds of weapons, like laser weapons, to actually counter those kind of abilities.
Have you considered, is there any manipulation of liquids or like water or anything like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So then, could you then extrapolate that into? I mean, I hate to keep borrowing from other fiction, but is there such a thing as bloodbending, or like? I guess that is just the bad guys.
Yeah, it is just the bad guys. So the thing is, it's not divided in Avatar. Like the way it's divided in Avatar is that you have control of certain materials if you're a certain type of bender. Here, it's you have authority over certain bodies within the physical world, if I could describe it that way. So, like, if you have access to water abilities, it's not that you have access to the material of water. It's that you can't have authority over rivers and oceans and the things that are in them, which happen to be water. So, yeah, there is blood bending, but that's used by people who have authority over bodies, not people who have control over water.
So it's more conceptual rather than scientific.
Yeah, because all of the magicians are controlling the exact same thing, which is the electron. They're not controlling the like molecules or elements or things like that. They're controlling the electron. They're just controlling electrons in different places. Okay. And you're muted if you wanted to respond.
I just got home, so I'm communicating. Alrighty. Okay. Yeah. It's a very interesting. I have been considering quite a while, like the possibilities of magic systems that, like, does it control specific types of atoms, specific types of molecules, or is it more conceptual, abstract? subjective magic. Like there's objective magic, which is like in Avatar, where you control water, you control earth, you control metal, you control fire, etc., and all the things that are related to that. Or you can have subjective magic, which is very, very precise, but also vague at the same time.
Yeah. And this falls more into that latter category. Yeah. Yes.
That sounds really fun, Aaron. Sounds like you're getting better at explaining while on the move in your stories, which is something I know you've been working at for a while now. So if you get Daniel to catch it quickly, and or Brendan, with the ADHD stuff, you'll have a real winner going. So yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So Dante, what's been up with you, man?
I just got back from Wednesday night service. I deliberately cut it short for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a fellowship afterward, and I decided, you know what? I'm just basically sitting around throwing a ball. There's not really anything interesting happening here. I'm going to go talk to people.
Right. I hear you. How things been doing down there in general?
Well, funny thing, I didn't want to interrupt the story, but as I was driving home, I passed a street by the name of Castile Avenue, and I found that very interesting.
Castile. Gotcha.
I finished it, by the way. The whole thing.
Oh, you finished Guardians, yeah. So, what are your thoughts?
Yes. There.
You can be honest with me.
I ain't gonna be weird. As the creator, it is your choice. But I feel there isn't enough about the characters. Like, I think Cyrus clearly is your primary main character.
Really?
That's what I'm getting. The other characters don't have
Cyrus
nearly
is the primary main character. Did you not realize this, Joshua?
I've always thought of both William and Cyrus as the primaries.
William's definitely like more.
William has a little bit. Yeah, William is second place and not very far behind, but it's very obviously Cyrus. William is second and not very far behind, but Cyrus is very clearly the primary main character. Bobby is honestly there needs to be more about him. Like there was that little bit.
Oh. Yeah,
there was that little bit about his almost girlfriend, but that, and then the whole twist about, oh really, she's actually this, was like, yeah, whatever, and brushed aside, and I was just like,
yeah.
I know that there's going to be more. I know that there's going to be a lot more. You're probably already way ahead of what I think you are. But my point is that
he's probably not that much farther ahead than where you think he is.
Okay. Well, considering what snippet I heard about, I forgot Shadow's guy.
Freak show.
No, I forgot his actual name.
Marlon Xanadu.
Thank you, Marlon. Yeah, the snippet that I heard about him dealing with a guy with a crossbow was that I have no idea how that goes there. But anyways, the point that I'm trying to get to is that I think you need to spend a little bit more time on their personalities. Like, you have a little bit about how they interact with each other when they're hanging out at the Castile, playing video games, spending time together, but I feel like William is a little too hot-headed to be a leader. Like, he's always about to rush into combat with the next person that he sees. Like, he brandishes his sword at every single problem rather than approaching it with caution like a leader should. Maybe that's his character flaws. Sure, I can understand that. But that's never expressed, and you have to intuit that, which maybe that's your narrative choice. And again, Bobby just feels very shallow as a character. Like, he just kind of shows up and then joins the group.
Yeah.
Bobby there's a lot more flavor in Guardians 1 than anything else. He adds some flavor.
I love his sass. I love his sass. Like, he gets, like, doggone it, I get stuck with the old guy. Doggone it, man. You guys get to have all the fun. Like he's so much fun. But aside from being a little bit of comic relief and a really cool power set, there's not really a lot that he contributes.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah.
There's some very specific reasons for literally everything you just said.
Okay.
It's setting up further stories for every single one of those things.
I get that. However, as a first taste for someone who doesn't know that there's more, I'm not sure whether you intend to publish this as like the first part of a book. I know it's grand poetry, but there would have to be some format to it. So whether this would be like the first part of an entire performance, or would it be a standalone thing? If it's a standalone thing, I think it would have to have more to stand by itself.
So if
it's just the first part of a grander whole, then there wouldn't be as much need for change.
Well, it's the first season of a show is the way that I look at it. Okay.
Okay.
And so basically, like, the way I've broken this out is, and I've told you before, but I'll remind you again. Basically, the each poem is its length, and then about 10 poems is about an episode, and then about 10 episodes is a season. So it's meant to be sort of modular in a similar way to comic books. It's meant to be read aloud in some kind of capacity. It needs to have the sound of what I'm doing. Yeah, I think you've noticed, like, from the performance of actually listening to it versus reading it on page, there's certain rhythms and things. Some of them you like, some of them you don't, because we're different poets.
Yes,
different poets have different opinions on stuff.
As much as I despise artistic generative AI, putting it to song does make it sound better.
Yeah. But
especially the opening exposition, like whenever the song was describing Zeke, I was like, oh yeah, this has to be in song. Just reading it doesn't sound right.
Right. And I don't know if you heard the draft that we did, but we're kind of got a hybrid going of telling and song that we're working through right now, and the hybrid's growing very well. So format's always been an issue with this as far as that goes, because like nobody does this. So how are we going to make it work? But as far as the characters and their plot lines and their stories, literally everything is everything you mentioned is either being addressed in Guardians season 2 or 3, which are not completed, but they're completed in my brain. Let's put it that way. in the broad picture, they're completed in my brain.
You have a solid understanding of what you want. You haven't written them yet. They're not completed.
Right.
I get what you're saying, but there has to be take Star Wars, for example. A New Hope by itself is a standalone story. You don't need anything else to tell the story, to explain who the characters are.
Right.
However, Empire Strikes Back ends on a sort of cliffhanger defeat, so you need more to complete the story.
Yes.
I'll provide you a counterexample. The Fellowship of the Ring is not a complete story.
Exactly. That's my point. So, however, in the Fellowship of the Ring, they gave you a clear origin or clear psychological outlook on each character, even if it wasn't fully completed. or nor were their personal stories weren't completed at the end of the Fellowship of the Ring, but you knew who all the characters were. Boromir wasn't just some guy with a sword following them around who made witty wisecracks every now and then.
If it wasn't for who we know Gimli and Legolas are related to, we wouldn't.
That's
actually a valid point. Legolas is just kind of an elf that follows him around. Doggone it.
Bobby is my Legolas. He has a backstory. I just haven't told it yet.
Do you believe that Frodo in the movies knows Legolas's name?
I don't think they've even spoken, okay?
No, they never speak. They never speak at all in the movie. They do a little bit in the book. Not a bunch, but they do some in the book.
Yeah.
In the movie, they don't have a single line of dialogue together ever. I am 100% behind the theory that in the movie,
and my bow.
Frodo just forgot Legolas's name and was too scared to ask.
And my bow.
Yeah, Legolas talks to Frodo. They do not talk together.
Okay. Yeah. Not with. Yep.
Hilarious. I've heard that several times.
Right.
That's very funny
I can
to
get
me.
behind that. Also, I think Brock needs a little bit more from his perspective.
That was something that Alex had brought up a while ago. Yeah. I don't know if I'll do more, but in season 1 anyway. But yeah.
Because his master, like his whole story is master dies and he goes, well, shoot, I guess I hate everybody now. And that's pretty much his whole story right there. And then there was also the point where he said something along the lines of, do you know how much they're paying us? So he's vengeful and greedy.
I don't remember anything about how much they're paying us. Was that in the bar?
No, that was on the mountain.
I don't remember that, but it might be in there.
Brock's not on the mountain, is he?
He is on the mountain.
No.
He falls off the mountain.
Yeah. It's been a hot minute since I read it.
So, Brock is a very if
also,
you want
Brock's
him
not
to
talking
be
about personal gain there. Well, let me just say, my bad on writing this part, but in that regard, I'm remembering this now. Brock was not saying how much they're paying us, as in how much I'm getting paid. He's saying how much we're actually able to gain to do good work, and that doesn't come across right. That's what I wanted to come across, and you're correct. That does not come across. So go ahead.
So maybe write another poem about him doing charitable work whenever he's not fighting the Guardians, or something like that. That way, he's a lot more of a heartbreaking bad guy.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Rather than just a villain that has to get away, because the whole split of the Knights is supposed to be a heartbreaking experience, and it just kind of gets brushed off as that happened. Let's move on.
Joshua, when does Ballad come in?
The Ballad of Harbingula?
That's the last episode, right? Yeah.
I want to say that's in the last one. Yeah. Harbingula's story. Yeah.
Okay. The second to last one is where Brock is leading up to the fight on Stone Mountain, right?
I think so.
Okay. Parallel a Ballad of Brock opposed to the Ballad of Harbingula. They're two context on the two villains, two entirely different things. Ballad of Harbingula shows for a fact that Harbingula is entirely irredeemable. This is not a villain. This is not a sympathetic villain. This is a monstrous demon that needs to be destroyed.
Right.
That's what that shows. do the opposite for Brock. Show that he is a villain, but he is a villain who is complex and difficult in the way that you understand him.
The only thing that's
misled
odd about that
and deceived.
Yes.
I agree that something needs to be done. The only thing with that is Brock is so much further down the totem pole of bad guys. Like, it feels odd to just pick a random like middle management leader, which is basically like the level at which he is, at his point in the story. His probably shiningest moment was when he was told he had to go basically create a distraction and get beat by Warren James in Amira's episode in order to basically like have the mayor get the upper hand in his situation politically, right? Like that's probably the biggest thing he actually accomplished.
But you have a personal connection to Brock established. Like, that's why I think that it's worth it, because you have that connection established with William growing up in the Knights of Adonai.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's worth it to, especially because I know you are planning on using him further along.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think it's worth it to at least add a little bit of extra texture to his character.
Joshua,
Yes.
are you pulling a Star Wars? If the villain doesn't die on screen, he's not dead.
No. Brock doesn't come back. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm serious too. I don't know what you're talking about, Alex. When did I plan something with Brock?
I would have sworn that you had talked about that with like Crusader, like future stuff with Crusader.
Oh, like flashback stuff? Yeah. Not bringing him back.
Oh, okay.
Then I misunderstood.
So his voice actor will continue to have a job, but not in the narrative future.
Got it.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, no, I might have Brock do some stuff as like flashback stuff. Or like some of his actions had an impact on something in the present, especially because he was, leading the Knights of Adonai in their brief time of like being evil. So, at least post Dodd. So, but yeah.
Well,
so
that's something else that needs to be given, like made clear, that the fact that Dodd repented of his mistake, but Brock was not aware of that apology. I think it was like implied that only William heard it, but I don't think it was made clear enough.
Okay. I'll take a look at that at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. So Brock needs. Yeah, I don't want to reiterate what we already said. It's just is a lot of things are rushed and don't have enough depth to them.
Correct. Yeah. So that's part of that is me getting better at it. This is the first full season that I've written, and I finished it.
How long ago did you finish it? Oh, okay.
Oh, probably. I finished it right after I broke up with Rose. So that was 20
long time ago.
Over 10 years ago.
A decade is plenty long for you to realize, this needs some revisions.
Oh yeah, and I've done some revisions since then, but yeah. But yeah, we're approaching, this is one of the reasons we're doing it the way we're doing it is I want to approach each one individually. If we have to add something, we can. But the idea is we're going through and we're doing full production on one poem at a time. And through that, I'm also creating this Enchanting Epics podcast and whatever else. And so that's meant to be the thing that's, helping trickle everything out. So we'll see how it goes. Once Jesse gets me his lines, I'll go ahead and finish editing first final draft of the prophecy in this hybrid style. I really like the way the hybrid style is going. Obviously some things will be fully song, some things will be, other stuff, but we're working on one at a time and we're deciding what it needs each time. And so I think that'll help a lot. I think that I really like doing micro serial productions in general. Like Alex knows this, and sometimes it drives him nuts, but other times I think he's like, this is how we get stuff done. It's productivity, right?
Eat an elephant.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Is he still there, or is he?
Yeah, I'm here.
Muted. Okay, you're here.
I'm muted.
But Bobby is everything you said about Bobby was on purpose. Actually, I wanted him to be like, okay, I'm comfortable with him being here because everyone else is comfortable, but isn't he a little shady? Not that he's a bad guy. I'm not spoiling something about him being a bad guy because he's not. But he is. I will say that he is a deist amongst a bunch of Christians, and they may or may not know that yet. And so he's sort of he's kind of an odd man out on purpose, and it has a very specific story arc that he's going to be going through.
I would also recommend a slight change to how he leaves the circus or the carnival, because Uncle Andy, or whatever his name was, just
the scary Uncle Andy.
Yeah, the guy with the scythe. He was a bad guy all of a sudden. Started killing a bunch of people. Was killed or captured. I forget. I think he was killed.
Captured.
He was captured. Okay. And then Bobby's mother, who broke tradition by telling him she's his mother, took over the carnival, and then he just straight up leaves after all this change and chaos. And I'm just like, that's a little bit. Okay, a little bit suspicious.
Bobby,
like,
isn't that Bobby code?
Everything changes, so I'm just going to be gone now. Mm-hmm. It's very. He grows up. He grows up in this very close knit, interdependent group. It's basically a family that, for some reason, doesn't tell who's actually blood relative because everyone's supposed to be family with each other.
It's a cult.
Okay. Well, that makes things a lot more clear then.
I mean, it's a cult in that it's a compound group, whatever you want to call. They don't necessarily have their own religion outside of take care of the circus, but they're a cult anyway.
Okay. Well, my point is, all he's ever known goes through a bunch of changes, and then he just leaves. There's some either he's not a reliable character, which you're trying to make clear there, or
absolutely.
Okay.
Bobby just frustrates you. You're making me frustrated, right? That's the line.
He frustrates me more in the sense that there's not enough for me to understand.
Correct.
Because he's a vagabond. He's a vagrant.
Bingo.
He's a drifter.
But
bingo.
Then make that more clear.
He is written to give the reader the exact same feeling that he gives to all the other guardians.
The exact same
you don't
reaction
know
I'm
anything
getting out
about
of you
him
right now.
You don't know anything about him because he doesn't want you to know anything about him. You'll get to know him eventually.
Exactly.
So the Arcane Trickster Rogue. So Arcane Trickster Rogue is more correct than Illusionist Wizard.
Yeah, more or less.
Because rogues are known for being devious, mysterious, secretive, and not entirely cooperative with their team.
More honest.
That is the definition of a rogue.
Yep.
A rogue who relies on magic. Yep.
All right, now talk to Alex about Freak Show and your thoughts on Freak Show and his whole thing.
Freak Show.
Because Alex loves it.
Honestly,
I want to hear you.
I'm not sure how to think about this guy. on the one hand,
Freak Show so much.
On the one hand, magic is cool. On the other hand, witchcraft.
Yep.
Literally.
So why is it that Bobby can use illusions and William is perfectly fine with that, which is actually a story note that is pointed out. But then Marlin is using shadows, and that's bad.
Because they're living shadows, they're physical things.
Yeah, Marlin is tapping into primeval forces that nobody really understands. Whereas what Bobby is doing is it's on the line between illusion and like some form of voodoo or hoodoo, but like it's solidly like it's clearly
alchemy, basically. It's like an ancient scientific principle. Yeah, it's an ancient scientific principle like that was created by voodoo folk.
Yeah. Yes, indistinguishable illusionary duplicates of William. Just sleight of hand.
Yep. Yes.
Correct. Just it's only sleight of hand to create perfect illusionary duplicates.
Okay. Dante. Guardians of Atlanta takes place in the same world as Now You See Me. Are they wizards?
I hate you. I hate you so much.
I actually really like the Now You See Me films. They're a guilty pleasure of mine.
They are so stupidly fun.
They really are. They're so funny.
Do you want to tell him the Mr.
I also just like Jesse Eisenberg as an actor.
Is he a quadriplegic with like a Stephen Hawking type person?
No.
Bring me the head of Steve Wozniak. You know what Stephen Hawking's last words were, right?
I forget. I knew it, but
Da-na-na-na.
Oh man. Oh man.
It's one of my favorite jokes of all time.
That's so bad.
Okay, you need to add Windows XP and Windows Vista sounds to the soundboard.
Yeah, I probably do. I did add a bunch of really
I'll
fun
add them
ones
to the
recently.
castle too.
Yeah, I got
that's
this one.
Bippity, boppity, boo.
So that one's fun.
Oh, epic voice guy is great.
Yes.
Okay, Dante, you were talking about Freak Show. I don't want to get distracted.
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't really have much to say about him. You're gonna hate that, but I think he's, as far as what you want, I think he's perfect. There doesn't really need much change.
Yeah.
Like there's enough dwelling on him dealing with his issues, on his own insecurities about his developing Christianity conflicting with his use of witchcraft, and how he keeps getting stuck in situations where he needs to save people, and his only tool to do so is something that God hates.
Yep.
And that is I'm with you, Alex. That is such a genius character concept,
Isn't it? It's I love all of Guardians. I really do. I wrote the foreword for it. I really like it. Freak Show is a genius character concept with genius execution. And I like Freak Show is the best episode in the series. Clearly. Like I think that Long Summer has the most love put into it, but Freak Show is the best execute. It's so flipping good. Every single beat hits so well.
Yep. I do think Amy needs a bit more work, though.
Oh, Don't you worry. Don't you worry, my friend. Amy will get so much more work. You have no idea.
She's essentially a Frankenstein's monster, right?
Afraid. You should be terribly afraid.
What? She's what, Dante?
Essentially a Frankenstein's monster.
No, you should be way more afraid. Amy's story is the coolest flipping thing. I would put the concept for Amy's story above anything Sanderson has ever written. Easily.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Easily.
Really?
Thank you.
You're on a pure conceptual level. Joshua's concept for Amy is possibly the coolest thing I've ever read in a fantasy book.
I would like to point out, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to take a brief tangent and say Sanderson has gone on record for saying that Shallan might be able to beat Atium.
Yes, I'm aware.
Okay.
What? Beat Atium? Oh, like the person who uses the metal?
Yes, exactly. So because she has multiple personalities that all can make their own decisions, that creates multiple possibilities. It's almost as if she's burning her own Atium.
Constantly.
Uh-huh.
Which is going to be so cool whenever the Cosmere opens up.
Exactly. Now,
it's a shame we'll have to wait a decade to get the next book of Stormlight.
I think it'll be like the
get
next
your freak show before that.
Actually.
I want to get your freak show season 1 before that. Let's go.
I hope so. Oh my word. Freak Show season 1. I need a refresher course on it, honestly.
Yeah. You need to kick me in the pants on it. Tell me to drop everything and get that done for you.
So my point is that she either needs to develop, like character-wise, it would make sense for her to develop either self-harm because she hates parts of her, literally hates parts of herself, or keeps the multiple personalities minus Jezebel. Maybe both. I'm assuming at least one of those has power that Jezebel was repressing.
Are you wanting me to confirm or deny any of this? Or just whatever?
Don't. Not right now, at least. Don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm relatively familiar with tropes and story arcs, so I assume I'm at least partially correct.
You have a few story beats correct, but there's a lot more.
Yeah.
Honestly,
say anything
with the way you're going,
it's worth taking a long time to say.
Hey, look, it's Alex in a nutshell.
More or less.
The irony of speeding that up so that it fits in the 5 seconds you have for a Discord soundboard. Anyway.
Okay. Let's see.
What did you think of Amira? What did you think of
Amira? Okay, that I forget. I think I was distracted whenever I was listening to her backstory. I probably need to go back and re-listen to that. But if I remember correctly, she had a twin, and they were supposed to be like magically blessed or whatever to enhance each other. But because her twin was killed, it's kind of like an open-ended blessing, and she can just draw on the powers of someone else in her vicinity. Is that do I have the right idea?
Not only can she has to. Hence why she did not flourish in the Atlanta Fulton County foster care system.
Wait. So her body was stunted. Her body was stunted because no one was around to supply her what she needed.
Yep.
So does that mean hanging around the Guardians, she's finally going to blossom?
Oh, we might see that.
Or is it a permanent? Is it a permanent malnutrition thing?
I suppose we'll see.
Raffo.
because
literally just
to get a little bit open here. You picked me for William.
Yeah.
And I actually have a thing for petite.
For what? Petite? Yeah. Okay, that works. By the way, Debbie's voicing Amira, so.
I take it back then. No, never mind. Forget anything I just said.
No. You're good. You're good. But Debbie is voicing Amira, just so you know. So yeah, there's that. But, but you like William, is what you're saying, and you feel like you can do him justice.
I could find myself fitting his role very well. I just can't quite connect the fact that he was raised to be a man of God for his entire life, literally given deadly weapons. And I assume men of God would not hand deadly weapons to someone they did not trust to wield them with wisdom.
Correct.
So I think he should still be a hothead, but he shouldn't be so quick on the draw.
Yes, part of his hot-headedness, quick on the draw thing, particularly in this situation, is specifically dealing with Alex, can you explain the whole thing that I'm doing with because you explained it better to me than I could explain it myself. The whole
with the KOA?
Yeah, specifically the stuff at in the beginning with Fenris being suspicious and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Dante, are you familiar with?
He has trust issues.
Well, kind of. Are you familiar with more recent American church history, like 1900s on?
I might be when you start describing it.
Okay. I love how Aaron left whenever we started talking about church history. That's real fun. The Catholic left.
I'm sure that wasn't on purpose, but go ahead.
I'm sure it wasn't as well. Okay, so in the very late 1800s, following the Industrial Revolution, you started to get a lot of weird teachings developing in the church, especially in Europe. You start having Christians who are teaching socialism. One of the earliest Christian texts, or one of the early socialist texts, was actually written by a Quaker, who's not technically Christian, but Christian adjacent. But as all of that is developing, you end up with America kind of adopting some of that, and this causes it's called the fundamentalist modernist controversy, where basically you had one side who was arguing that the church needs to modernize, needs to accept the development of science with the theory of evolution, all of that, as well as developing this idea of the social gospel, which is that the gospel is actually talking about making people's lives better. That develops into full-blown theological liberalism in the 1910s, 1920s, where theological liberalism says that the social implications of your belief are more important than the relative veracity of your belief itself. So the effects of your belief are more important than whether or not your belief is true, is what that says. J. Gresham Machen writes a book called Christianity and Liberalism, where he basically says that that liberalism is a completely different religion with completely different philosophical presuppositions that is entirely and completely incompatible with Christianity, and that the PCUS at that point needs to fight against it tooth and nail. He ends up getting kicked out of the PCUS because he starts a rival mission board inside of that to basically plant churches that are particularly conservative, and he gets defrocked. And because he was a rightfully ordained minister, and they defrocked him for an illegitimate reason, he leaves and starts the OPC. And that's the story there. What you have with the Knights of Adonai is that same story. It's that drift into liberalism, people trying to stop it, but being pushed around inside of the organizational structure.
And not only is it that story, it's also a continuation of that story, because this isn't the early 1900s. This is roughly like 2010 when this takes place. I don't think I ever specifically say. But
I always thought that it was like the early 2000s. Like,
right. So basically, whatever the case,
the really cool people have iPhones.
Yeah. So with this situation, basically, we're dealing with continued. In conservative circles, you guys have it nice in the CREC where you guys kind of live in your own bubble, but like having grown up in multiple like tiny denominations of Reformed Presbyterian who see a communist behind every tree, it's very much like this, like you don't trust anybody, and this is the result of that. So anyway, go ahead.
No, that's basically what's happening. So that's the mindset that Fenris and William have, is that they're trying to go.
So he's not hot-headed in an aggressive sense. He's hot-headed in an offensive sense.
Yes.
That makes more sense. Okay.
And he still needs to overcome it. Like you were catching on to the central character flaw of William Avery. But like that's where he's coming from.
We'll give you an idea in the first. This is not major spoiler. First episode of season 2. The whole plot is actually a Christmas episode, and it mainly centers around Cyrus decorating the Castell and William being like, heck no, because he doesn't believe in celebrating Christmas. He's of the Scottish like throw. I know, right? But the Puritan throw it out variety, that sort of a thing. And the whole point of the story is actually like Amira's a fairly new Christian, right? Like she basically accepted Christ when she accepted William, like implicitly, kind of, sort of. And so basically, like, she's trying to navigate all this, and she's wanting to be like, I want to be on your side,
my God, and your path will be my path. She pulled
absolutely.
a roof.
Yes, absolutely.
Hold on one moment. I need to switch to my computer.
Yep.
I really do need a refresher on Freak Show season 1.
Oh man, I have to pull all that up.
Because I've got these vague shadows, but I don't have a solid remembrance of what's actually happening. So,
all right, you back?
Yep, we'll get to that eventually.
Okay, so yeah, with this story, like basically she's dealing with his thoughts on that, and a big part of the story is like William coming to terms with the fact that he needs to actually like for lack of a better term, liberalize in the proper ways. Fenris is actually one who kind of talks to him and says, look, I don't personally celebrate, but I don't think that anyone who wants to celebrate it, especially outside of the church, like, you know, in families and stuff, I have no issue with any of that. And William's like, wait, what? This is not what I was taught. I'm so confused. You know? And so like there's a lot of just like him letting go. William's whole thing is like, I'm in control, I'm the leader, etc. Yeah, go ahead.
Brief rabbit trail. Please give Fenris a wolf theme.
Of course.
A wolf theme. What do you mean by
you kind of have to? You're.
Of course I do.
Fenris, the Norse wolf.
Oh, I know. Okay, so you know how they each have like a courage designation, Crusader, Cyclone, etc. Right? Like that serves as their superhero name, right? His is Lone Wolf.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a bit too on the nose.
But like it's a superhero name. This is the point of the courage names. Shield Maiden is Fortune Anderson, who has her own series. Alex likes that one too. He's not as big on it, but he likes that one too.
It feels kind of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Who was wasn't Fortune someone's
Anderson?
sister?
No. Well, not literally. William calls her his sister because sister in Christ,
sister in the Lord,
and also like they kind of grew up together
in the order
because of So
okay.
But yes, Fortune Anderson gets her own thing in England. So yeah. That was called Soldiers of Fortune, and yes, she hates that term, as you know from the story.
Yes, that was great. I loved it.
Oh boy. But yeah, so you're starting to get opened up into further aspects of this thing and where I'm going with it. So everything that you initially was like, okay, I have a problem, there's not enough here, not enough here, not enough here, I'm like, yes, we're working on it. that is further episodes on purpose. Now the one thing that I will say that I wish that I had put into having a bit more of a completion is the flying objects, lots of them being around Stone Mountain, but I did not have a way to have them fight those that made a whole lot of tactical sense. And so I've held that off for further stuff with Philip Keller. So, and Philip Keller's whole arc that he's going to go through. So, and he's psychopath.
Philip Keller.
His courage designation is psychopath. Keep in mind, courage designation doesn't mean that that's what he's referred to by the bad guys. That means that's what the good guys refer to him as. So, yep. So, did you like the bad guy scenes? That was the other thing that Alex really loved.
I did.
I genuinely think, was it Keller?
Philip Keller's the one in the beginning.
Philip Keller.
Yeah.
He wanted to help people and just became greedy as a result. He's going to be a cyborg now, isn't he?
Maybe. I've kind of toyed around with a few different ideas as far as he's concerned. I know how he's going to end, but the in between's a little fuzzy. The kind of inner circle of Red Death, which that's the other thing that he is a major part of Freak Show, is more direct stuff with Red Death. But Red Death is the big bad. And his little inner circle is Rose and Lily, the girl in the white and the girl in the red, and Jack Skelton, who is the guy who recruited Philip Keller and like put a knife in his head in some kind of way, you know. So as far as how that ends up, you'll see. But and then Berserk, which is sort of his giant Bane-ish bodyguard, but he has a backstory too that isn't Bane, anything close to Bane. and he's silent. So, but yeah, so that's kind of his major inner circle is those people. So,
Okay.
yep. But yeah, so. I'm gonna probably have to get going here in just a few. Alex, what do you want as far as a recap? Do you want to actually schedule a time to go through it? Do you want me to find my documents? Do you like? I mostly talk you through
I want to schedule.
what I
want to
written.
schedule a time to go through it. I want to schedule a time to go through it and just like have you tell me what's happening in the story again.
I'll be honest with you. One of the biggest things that could help me write it is, and it would just help us in general, is when you have time and you're like, okay, I want to help Joshua write it, sit with me and write it. Like, have me write it, whatever.
Yeah.
But like be there looking at it on screen with me. I can screen share. We can be in a DM video chat and just be the person over my shoulder.
You got it. I can definitely do that.
You care enough about this story that I know you're not going to steer me wrong. You know what I mean? Like, just being there and giving me that push and that feedback would be just huge. And I want to get it done as much as you do. That's in that particular creative realm of the dark. That's my heart and soul. And you know that. Like, that's my heart and soul for a dark story. So,
yeah. Dante, whenever he was writing Freak Show in the Eclipse, the music that he was listening to was, what's the album by Evanescence?
Fallen, their first album. Yeah,
that
was the big one. I had a lot of other stuff too, but that was the big one.
Yeah.
You've heard that album, right, Dante?
I don't believe so.
Oh,
you've heard the song like wake me up inside.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's heard that. Yeah. That album is unbelievable.
It's a really good album.
So, yep. I think that's probably your third favorite album I've ever shared with you after Farewell to Kings by Rush and Ocean Avenue Yellow Card.
Yeah, Ocean Avenue's fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's a place called Ocean Avenue.
So good. All right. Yep. Well, anything else before I go, Dante or Alex?
I don't think so.
If I could get in on that,
we need the schedule.
If I could get in on that writing time, that way I can fix your rhymes as you make them. That'd be great.
I'm not gonna lock myself down to a meter entirely unless the poem warrants it. It's part of my style.
No, I'm not saying you have to. No, what I'm trying to say is that there were several times where I was like, "There's an obvious rhyme here," and he missed it.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Some of those were on purpose.
Yeah,
I believe it.
But yeah. So okay, yeah, I don't mind doing that. When are you guys available? I am gonna have more time
literally
this week after I get
same.
Yeah, go ahead.
Same as usual, like the usual times that you would do these.
Okay,
Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights are usually occupied. Wednesdays for obvious reasons, but Tuesdays and Fridays I can usually probably swing that, as well as Saturdays.
I can probably swing a Friday.
So yeah, 5 days out of the week I'm usually available. Well, 4 days out of the week I'm usually available.
I can probably swing a Friday or a Sunday. I've got stuff on Saturday.
I'm okay with Friday nights for right now, just to start, and then we can do it like every other week if we have to. I need to talk to Casey and figure out like what she's expecting. But basically, let's do. Can we do Friday this week? Are you guys good with that?
I think I have something Friday of this week. I should be able to do Friday next week. I think. Okay. I'll need to check with Debbie on that for sure, but
sure. Let me see the calendar. So that would be the 20th. Okay. Are you guys obviously, like you said, you gotta talk to Debbie, but are you good for that, Dante?
Friday the 20th?
Yeah.
I don't have any plans as of yet.
Cool.
Okay. Well, we'll all three plan on it. If Alex has to audible, we'll talk about it.
Yep. Sounds
I would
good.
like to have both of you to start so that we can actually go through like what the plot is now that you've read Guardians, especially Dante.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then all my outlines and stuff that I have, and basically do the this is connected to this crazy man board thing.
See,
And then
what I
yeah, go ahead.
what I would like to do, ideally, is get so into the mind of William that I don't want to claim to know your own IP better than you, but I kind of want to.
Yeah. I hear that. I want to get into William's mind
way we
too.
can
Want you in
way we can discuss like exactly what he would do, because he's not only is he a main character, but he's also the leader of the main characters.
Yes.
So
yes.
Making the right decisions as a leader and the right mistakes as well, which is very important for a narrative.
Yep. William. Oh, tell him what last thing. Alex, you were so this I think you were more blown away with than Freak Show season 1 when I talked to you about it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but what I'm specifically doing with the 4 characters as far as what they are artistically and why
I was definitely way more blown away by Freak Show season 1.
Okay, well, but yeah.
But no, so the 4 main characters of Guardians of Atlanta, which are Amira.
You there?
Yeah.
He dropped off or something. You got muted or something, Alex. Weird. I'm sure he's going to figure it out. Amira, Bobby, William, and Cyrus. I don't know if I should steal his thunder or not. Do you need to pop off and pop back on, Alex? Can you hear us? Maybe he's still talking about it and hasn't noticed yet. That's funny. Basically, Bobby. Okay, so when I actually went into. So I wanted to do a superhero team a long time before, and they had different origins and different connections and whatever else, but they were the same 4 powers, basically power sets. But then I really wanted to like make this tie back to Georgia and North Georgia, especially, and like the Atlanta area and my what I experienced growing up, and really tie in a lot of my own experiences into the story. And when I was
a young boy, your father told you.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
That's all good. Oh, I love those. That's like the millennial joke. That's our whole thing is random lyric insertion.
I mean, my siblings are all millennials, so
yeah. So there you go. Okay, so Cyrus is the native. She's the person who actually grew up there. Okay, you want to do it?
No, you can.
Okay,
you'll do it better than I will.
Cyrus is the one who is the person who actually grew up there, and she's distressed about how things are changing. Obviously, that's like a big thing. William is the person who actually grew up in conservative church. Okay. Obviously being Presbyterian and all that is extra, but like specifically, these are 2 examples of people that I grew up with, in that I met some natives and some people who went to conservative churches. They weren't my majorities by any stretch, but they were 2 kinds of people that I met that were sort of archetypes, and they ended up having these same kind of issues. And then I met the person who basically was first generation here, totally acclimated to Atlanta culture, but sort of like placeless and had no real deep roots. And so that's Amira, honestly. And then Bobby is the person who is transient, but does not care to have roots, is not interested in roots, is just a vagabond traveling wherever the money is. right? Those are four very specific things that I have noticed growing up as kind of broad categories that almost everybody fit into in one sense or another. And honestly, the biggest boxes were the latter two, not the former two. But I wanted them to be the leaders. I wanted them to be the ones who were, stepping up and being like, they're taking charge of the place that they're from. And so,
because they're the ones you think of whenever you think of the South. You don't really think of the other two. They do exist, and everybody knows they exist. But whenever you think of people in the South, you think, like neo-Confederates, and Bible Belt Christians.
Right. And so basically that's what I was doing with it, was trying to represent the South as a whole in a 4-person team. And everyone is dealing with the things that their sort of broad category archetype is dealing with. And so the power sets kind of just fell into place because I created the power sets and these basic broad characters. Some of the names slightly changed, but I created this back in 2005 when I was 15. That was when I created the power sets and had some basic idea of their origins. Granted, the biggest one that changed was Cyrus. Before she was in Kansas, her name was Alexandria. That's her middle name now, but she was saving her family's farm in Kansas from space aliens. So I was 15, whatever, but it wasn't serious. It was supposed to be funny and campy.
Was there a red blue blur somewhere nearby?
Red blue blur? I don't make that connection. Superman, there you go.
Specifically Smallville Superman.
There you go. Yeah, no, I didn't think of that. I was just thinking, okay, girl helps her family's plants grow. No one takes notice because she had more control over her powers in that story. I didn't have all the stuff about her, all the other stuff about her, the unreliability of her power and other stuff. But basically the idea was that in that one she would someone with that kind of storm superpower, nobody notices because she's in the middle of nowhere and she just lives a normal life until the space aliens come and they do crop circles and blah blah blah, like that kind of a thing, and then she runs them off in the most comedic ways possible and they're like, we didn't think humans had this capability. What is happening?
And then the dragons attack.
Right. I actually told Alex recently, I'm working on a game making app engine thing through vibe coding. And I might end up making a little Cyrus Jones has a dream about this being her reality. You shoot the space aliens with lightning bolts kind of game.
Wait, you said this was you said that the main story is set in the 2010s, right?
Yeah, roughly 2010.
And she's in her late teens, early 20s max. Like around 18,
she's
19.
20. She's about 20 in 2010 roughly. That's kind of I'm not saying that's 100% solid, but yeah.
So what you're saying is there's a very, very high chance that she played Space Invaders.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yep. So anyway, okay, 20th. We've got a date until Alex tells me no, till Debbie says screw that, I need you. And we'll figure it out from there. Is that correct, gentlemen?
Yep, that is correct.
Good to me.
And we'll talk about William as well, and I'll answer any and all questions about him and give you. I'll try and I have some playlists that I have to dig up that might help with music wise. A lot of it's
specifically if you can give me music that if you can give me stuff that he would like and listen to type thing.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Brian Sauvé.
But yeah.
My dream here, to expand on what I said earlier, is essentially to like I said, get in his head and method act. Like,
yes, absolutely. I don't think I've told you this yet, Alex, but I obviously we're not to his poems yet.
Okay,
but I have been toying with the idea. Maybe you got to it in the demos, but I've toyed with the idea of using "Let All Mortal Flesh Keep Silence" tune as his leitmotif.
Oh,
that's solid.
What? I did have a question. You said power sets. Does William actually have any abilities, or is he just a really good fighter?
He is not only a really good fighter, but over the course of learning about the broader expanded world, there's only one fighter better than him at all. And it's only because he's more well-rounded in other fighting systems.
So Sokka minus the comedy.
Who? The guy that he's...
No, like...
Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Intelligent, capable fighter, not really on the same level as team.
He also has an extremely strong tactical mind because of his study. He's
actually better comparison. Robin of the Teen Titans.
Yes, absolutely, Robin. The other character is Worldwide Warrior, who is one of the other characters in this world. Braden Silversmith. He is he's actually I won't spoil it yet. Oh wait. We'll talk about that later when we talk about World of Courage. We're going to have to talk about the broader World of Courage in order to bring in all this stuff with Freak Show. So we'll get to that. But anyway, I will say Worldwide Warrior, the one other difference with him is he has did you ever watch Kim Possible?
Me? No. I mean, I'm familiar with the concept, but never watched it.
He has
I
something
did not
called
really have a lot of Cartoon Network growing up.
That's okay. That was Disney Channel, but yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, right. Basically, Braden Silversmith is based in Los Angeles. He's part of Courage. He's actually like one of the main number one heroes, solo heroes that they'll send places. Anyway, but he has something called Shadow Lash, which do it.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt you. I just realized I have a friend who wanted to be a voice actor, and actually he lived in Georgia. I mean, North Carolina. Sorry.
Okay.
Why did I say that? Why did I say Georgia? Anyways, yeah, he has a really deep voice. You might want to use, maybe, possibly. I don't know.
Could he sound like Bobby?
He's not
still
black,
need a Bobby. But could he do that voice?
It's possible. I don't know. You'd have to interview him.
Yeah.
He is a Christian, and I explained the CREC to him, and he sounded very interesting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, let me know. Send him my way.
I'll have to do that. He started his own little business recently, so he's been very busy. But I'll have to get with him on that.
Sounds good. But yeah, Shadow Lash, very briefly, all it does is it is a tomahawk, ancient object that was it's connected with Harbingula. I won't go into the details, but the point is it's an enchanted object that he uses for good. It is not in itself in any kind of way evil. It just has certain rules, and it can copy any other inanimate object that the user can hold in his hands.
Ooh.
And store that for later recall.
Oh, like a modular weapon?
Yeah.
That is like my favorite concept in all of fiction, okay?
Yeah. And also it if you cross it with something that it's harder to do a bow and arrow. I haven't decided if that actually counts, but a gun will actually you could, if it has bullets in it and you're holding the bullets and they're completely up off the ground with the gun, it will fire those bullets, and then you can change it back and reload. Change it back to the main tomahawk form, and then change it back to the gun, and it's good to go.
That's interesting. Or you could steal from Brandon Sanderson and go with like an empty gun, but you have to provide its own bullets.
Well, okay, so it's not creating new bullets.
It's like refreshing what it started with.
It pulls it all back into the same object.
Yeah. Where do you end
see
up
what I'm
seeing
saying?
this? Is it it's the last scene of Guardians, right?
Yes, but it's not Shadow Lash, but yes. Because there's 3 of them, but that's a whole other thing. There's 3 of these enchanted objects. Anyway. Do you remember what we're talking about?
I need more. Okay.
At the do you remember what we were talking about at the end of Guardians?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
No.
Red Death kills Clipper.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
With the tea that gets inside of him and then he pulls it all out.
The wine, yes.
The wine.
Why? Because he used one of these objects. There's 3 of them. It's a whole thing. But anyway, it's not Shadow Lash. It's another one. But the point is, he uses it to clone a glass of wine. And then he uses the change word after Clippers drank it.
I'm going to need William to defeat this guy and take his thing.
Oh,
dude,
man,
I can't wait. I really cannot wait for you to see the rest of the World of Courage. You're going to love it so much.
Also, the way you made an effortless acronym out of courage, I am somewhat annoyed with you.
Oh, the Coalition of Underground Resistances Against Global Empire? Yeah. No problem.
It sounds slightly anarchistic, but...
Oh, they are, slightly.
Okay.
But it's more like their one stated goal is no one world government. Literally, you can be anything else, and they're happy to work with you. So that comes in weird situations sometimes. So Mr. H is solid, don't get me wrong. There's a whole thing with him, too. He's actually Mr. Whitaker.
Oh, my goodness.
You know why?
Does Jason make an appearance?
No. He'll never. It will never be admitted. But
okay.
No.
Okay.
But
it's
for
kind
me,
of like how Stephen King wrote it into the same universe as A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. Joshua wrote this into the world of Odyssey.
Yes. In that Mr. H will never be revealed, but it is John Avery Whitaker who is doing this. And the reason he's Mr. H is because the H is silent in Whitaker.
Whip. Okay.
All right, guys. I appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Talk to you later, Joshua. Love you. Bye.
You too can be a part of the brood of writers and poets at war. Just visit joshuadavidling.com/discord to join. If you're a true poetry patriot, you can support us on Substack and Patreon and get the recordings of all of our encouraging and strategic meetings, along with much more. Once again, all links can be found at joshuadavidling.com. Over and out.
God of songs said the